welcome back everybody. This is Mog once more on Mog's Cast, playing some more Kerbal Space Program with you folks today, and we are going to be jumping back into the OMPL, I guess I made this OMPL 2, Hitchhiker module, that we're going to be launching up for our lunar base. I guess, is that actually accurate? Is it lunar base, the one we just put up in the last episode, since it's around the Mun? Is lunar specific to our moon in real life? Whatever, I'm not that concerned with it if you guys aren't. But we're going to be pretty much launching up the same unit. The only thing that I've changed is I've added some lights up to the front near the docking node. And also, I've tossed, I guess I haven't tossed, Captain Shortall, you're going to be our captain today, leading this mission, and alongside you, we're going to be bringing in Kerbonaut Pat Kerminsky, who's going to be our I guess he's going to be our scientist on this mission, we're going to call him, chilling out in the Hitchhiker unit. So same as last time, it's going to be just basically a docking array and Kerbal storage. Now, as far as things go, I did make sure that this had RCS on it. I double checked. I knew it had it from before, but I made sure it's got monopropellant. It's got the jets on there, so this shouldn't be a problem at all to actually get launched up. So okay, let's head get this thing out onto the launch pad, shall we? Okay, out on the launch pad we are. So why don't we go ahead and get this thing underway? There's not much more to explain. So 3, 2, 1, ignition, and release those docking clamps. I'm gonna throttle us back a bit, just as we have in the last few missions, carrying this larger load with these rockets. It's not quite easy enough to do as far as getting speed. You know the spiel at this point. You know it. Don't kid yourself. Don't kid me. So how are you all doing today? I'm pretty worn out, if you cared. We're doing this whole gym thing, and it's, I mean, you could call it a New Year's resolution, I guess. We started early December, but close enough, right? Holy crap. We had pretty much an upper body day today, and we're doing the personal trainer thing, so that's, wow, just wow. We were doing the upper body thing today, me and Brittany. And I did it the other day when she wasn't with me 2 days ago. So like I'm literally, I can't raise my arms above shoulder height currently. It hurts. Well, not so much hurts, it just doesn't go. I don't know, have you guys ever been there? There's rough times. Rough times. It's good, but rough times. Holy shit. Ugh. Anyway, we kicked off our solid rocket boosters. We're about to lose our first set of drop tanks here. And there they go! Kicking them off. And okay, so we're losing a little speed, not too terribly fast. We are definitely going to start building back up right now. And that's cruising back up. We're at about just a hair under 9 kilometers and climbing. And I spoke to some more folks about the painting of the controller today. I got some suggestions on making sure that's not tacky. I'm not using it right now in Kerbal Space Program, but I'm holding it in my hands since I don't got my hands on the keyboard currently. I don't really need them. It's just cruising. It's still a little tacky. It's not quite as bad as it was a few days after I finished painting, but you can still tell that it's been painted, you know? It's not coming off. I think the enamel coats, the 6 or 7 coats or whatever I ended up putting on here are working pretty well, but somebody suggested a paint by Krylon. They have a fusion line that's meant for plastics. I'm going to start tilting this over, but it's meant for plastic. It's actually supposed to like bond into the plastic is how it works differently from a normal coat painting. So it's supposed to eliminate some of that. I might actually do a 4th breakdown of that damn controller and give it another shot just to make sure that I get a decent paint job. I don't mind putting in the work on taking that apart. It's really not that much of a hassle. It's just I want to have one that's higher quality paint, you know? I'd rather have a high quality product than something subpar that I do just to save time. Which, I mean, you can throw that logic back at me for the quality of my videos. But dump ding, yeah, sort of joking. Flipping this thing around, we got about we're cruising over the 500 meters a second mark. Definitely gaining speed. We're about 30 kilometers up. Our apoapse is about 42 and climbing so far, so we're making good progress. We're definitely getting up there and moving. We should have more than enough fuel in this rig to get us out to the Mun. I guess we'll find out shortly. And I do have MechJev assigned on this guy, so I can actually double check our full Delta V left over, and if I do recall, it takes about 800 to get back out to the Mun from a tight Kerbin orbit, about 100 kilometer Kerbin orbit, give or take. There's the 40 mark. I'm going to tilt us down just a hair, start building out our orbital velocity a bit. A little easier following closer to our actual prograde marker. The more on par you are with this thing, the more you're actually not fighting against gravity, so you're just getting pure acceleration, if that makes any sense. You're going right along your current track to begin with, so you're just getting pure acceleration, which is, it's great. It makes you a little more fuel efficient as good as you can. That's like the perfect way to be. But then again, of course, the closer you are to perfectly centered on it, the more you're not even changing your trajectory at all. So you're just following your path. If you followed it the whole time, you just basically just get one big arc. Does that work? Does that make sense? Am I talking nonsense? I might be talking nonsense. Whatever. If I ever say anything that doesn't make sense, or like you guys are like, no, that's incorrect, I'm like 95% sure that's incorrect, I would much rather you guys drop it in the comments and let me know. I'm more than willing to learn. I'm not going to be one of those vindictive people who, when you contradict me in chat, provided you're, you know, it's accurate and respectful, I'm not gonna come at you. I'm not that petty. I hope you guys realize that. Anyway, I'm trying to kill time here. I hope you guys don't mind the random chat. I hope you guys are actually enjoying these missions where it's, you know, we're actually doing the full launches. We just hit the 100 Peri-Apps mark, or 100 Apple Apps marks. Let's go ahead and get the, oh, too much. Get the node set up. Boom, right about there. That looks fine to me. It's right there. It's asking for about 18 seconds. We got more than enough for that in the fuel tank here. 400 or so meters per second delta V. We have more than that in this stage, so we won't even have to kick out these. We'll have almost, well, we'll probably have like 300 and some odd left. I'm not looking at the numbers too closely. I know that I'll have between 350 and 400 meters a second left over, provided the burn is accurate. Or the projected burn, anyway. Okay, so that's that. Let's speed it on up, get down to the point we need to be at for this. And whoa, too fast. Too fast. Right about there. Kick up the speed a little early. Now that's actually going to make things a little less accurate on this counter, but you know what? It's a little worth it for the time security it saves. And besides, we have the fuel to pull it off anyway. About 100 left. 50 left, and zilch left, give or take. 100 by 93, we can push that out a little more, I think. Can't we? I'm gonna call that good. 99 by about 103.4. Well, exactly 103.4. Okay, so we have our tight little orbit in the right direction. We're about almost a degree off. That can be corrected. That's not quite as big of a deal. There's the mun right there. Let's set up our node right about here. That should look about right, I think. We're pretty darn close to the ascending node, so I could probably even trim that up a bit there too. Early. How's that looking? 0.3. And I will be right back. Somebody at the door. Okay, I am back here. Sorry about the wait there. Turns out this is about 24 hours since I paused it there a moment ago. We ended up having some friends drop by and stay with us for the night, and we ended up doing some other things, playing some Xbox, playing some Wii, and whatnot. Fun fact, the ones who came by was the guy who's also going to be possibly putting up some videos on this channel, and his wife. They came by. They were in town. Normally living about an hour away from us, actually, give or take. But anyway, we're lining up on the node here to get ready to burn out toward the mun. I have not finished setting this up since I paused it, didn't I? Okay, there we have that. Let's do right like that. 35 kilometers up. Or 38 kilometers up, that should be perfect. So that looks good. It's asking for about 1:08 minutes of burn. With what we've got currently, that's not going to be able to work with just what we have here, because we're going to run out of fuel. So we're going to pretty much shoot for a bit higher than that. So I'm going to go for about T-minus 50 seconds before we start our burn, give or take, because we're going to be switching down to that single engine. Coming in on the time here, getting close. How about T-minus 45? Let's go T-minus 45. 7, 6, and 45. So starting the burn there, I'm gonna skip out here. We can watch our fuel run out. Okay. So those outer tanks are about to drop off here. Right there they go. Lose those ones. Oh, didn't actually lose too much as far as overall time frame there. So I'm gonna stop at about the halfway mark there. Wait for this to run its course, since we're not gonna need quite as much. There we go. And then I'm going to finish our burn here. That should be relatively even overall throughout the burn. I do have my microphone on. Okay, good. Whew. Almost for a minute there, I didn't think I had my microphone on. But we are alright. So let's zoom out here and we're going to watch this. It's coming in. Should start speeding up. The further this gets out, obviously, the quicker it's going to go, you'll notice. As we get further and further away from Kerbin's gravity. Let's get back on that node. Back on the node. I'm going to slow it down a bit and watch this cruise on down. That looks pretty solid. I'm going to go for that and just leave it, and we'll correct things as we get in closer. Okay, actually, yeah. Because that guy, the lunar base is actually pretty high above the surface, isn't it? I suppose so. Anyway, we've completed our burn. Let's keep moving. We're going to push on out and get to the mud. Whoa. So, there goes our alarm clock setting off for us. Make sure we don't miss nothing. We're going to keep going. Oh, sorry, my steam. Just a bit more. It's going to second alarm clock? Okay, fair enough, whatever. No, not just close. Delete. Okay. And there we have it. That is our encounter. We're going to pretty much just push this out of here. Actually, no, I'm going to leave it where it is. That'll make us in a tighter orbit. We'll be able to play catch up with the station. Focus on none. Play catch up on the station and then actually set up for our rendezvous that way. No, we're not setting a target. We are setting a node. Right there, give or take. I'm actually going to push it out just a bit further. 13 seconds to burn, 226. We have more than that in this fuel tank alone, so we'll be able to finalize with what's left in here, and then we'll have a whole nother tank to do our corrections and get us in closer toward the station. So pretty much just enough energy, but we are out, aren't we? We are out of electricity. Let's push out our panels, grab some electricity before we actually get in there for the burn. Alright. That should give us electricity. Yep, it is certainly generating for us. So let's find our burn node. Don't see it there. I'm going to start pulling off to the left. I'm watching here on the nav ball. So we're pretty much just going to rotate around the bottom. See if we can find us. It's probably going to be on the upside, I betcha. If I had to guess. If I had to guess my luck. Well, we're using up electricity doing this, but at least it's generating more than we're using. Okay, I don't see it so far. I'm going to start tilting out toward the bottom and go for the other side of the down ball here. There it is. I see it. Down bottom left. Okay, fine. We're just going to go around. Moving too quick to counteract currently. Okay, we've slowed ourselves down a little bit. There it is. Bottom left, right there. You can barely make it out. And we're coming on in. Probably should have been just doing this in physical time warp, huh? Okay. We are aligned, mostly. We're gonna zip on in, get closer to the mud and this burn point. About an hour to go. T-minus 7 seconds is approximately midpoint. I really like how the Mun looks these days. After the changes they made, I think it looks real nice. T-minus 10 is when I'm actually going to do the burn, just because it's such a short burn anyway. I missed it by a hair, but that's okay. Full throttled, we can watch this shrink. So we're at about 120 by whatever we end at. So I'm watching up here actually, as opposed to the meter. 120 by 130 seems fine to me. Okay, so we are captured on the Mun. Pretty solid. Let's target this station. Oh, not switch to. Let's switch back to the Hitchhiker. Okay. So we have the OMPL 1 targeted. How far are we off? About 2 degrees. Descending. Which way is it rotating? We did correct its orbit, right? Okay, cool, we did. Descending, we're going to set up a node to correct our inclination difference. 0.5. That's 0. What's it asking for? Barely anything. 3 minutes to the burn point, so we're just pretty much going to line up our node. Physical time working this a little quicker. There it is. And do some normal time warp and we'll get up to that burn point. Should be next to no time at all. Giving it a little throttle. Right here. We should be able to get this corrected. Boop. Good enough, I think. Nope, away with you, node. 0.1, that's fine. I'll still be able to hit this pretty fine. So let's take a peek here. Figure out how much or when we're going to need to burn to make that rendezvous happen. So right before they split is pretty much the exact meet point that you want, and then you need to find where they overlap. Shrink that in a bit. What are we looking at? 3 kilometers? That looks good to me. With a 2-second burn. Now this will be nice. I'll actually be able to use cockpit 2 view and set up our closest approach, time to closest approach, and all that good stuff. That's why I really like having MechJeb. Lots of good windows to use. Okay, we are on point. Let's move on up to our burn point there. Oh, barely missed it, but that's fine. We'll be close enough. Relative velocity, distance to target, closest approach distance, under 1 kilometer. Nice. Let's get rid of that node, and then we're just going to come in for our rendezvous. Whee! There it is. I'm going to zip back into this view. We'll be able to keep an eye on things. Target, I'm going to set us up on our retrograde to target so that we can even ourselves out when the time comes. It should be exact opposite down here. Boom. Okay. About 7 minutes to closest approach. Oh, whoa. Oopsie daisy. I overshot. Dang time warp. But no, not too bad. We're still about a little under 3 kilometers out. Closest approach, we'll be able to watch that shrink. There we go. That's corrected a bit. And we should get in there at about 865 meters is closest. I'm going to flip us around though. In fact, I'm just going to detach this thing here. Get rid of it. There we have it. Flip around, we'll be a little more maneuverable now without as much weight behind us, without that extra tank. Set up right there. And right about here is fine. Let's trim ourselves out pretty slow relative velocity. And then we're going to face our target again. And get even closer. Alright. That looks good to me. About 200 or so meters out. We're going to detach that last fuel tank there. And now, we are a little off because we basically thrust that away from us. It changed our trajectory a bit, so we're not going to be quite as close, but it also means it pushed it away quite a bit. I'm going to bring in our solar panels. We have full batteries, so we should be just fine to do this without. We're going to open our docking port. We are also going to control from here, just so that everything's oriented properly. We're going to switch to translation mode, turn on RCS, and start pushing out there. Bring in, we're about 124 is what our closest approach distance is stated to be. Slow ourselves down here in a moment. Oops. Keep SAS on, turn off RCS. We're going to aim right at this guy. Okay, within 20 meters is how close we're gonna come now. Lights are on. We should be pretty much home free with this, I think. We're not gonna be, you know, missing any critical RCS thrusters or anything this time. So we pretty much have this in the bag if we can get in close enough and find a docking port. Which is right there. Is that gonna be the side? Yeah, that's the side we want. Target that. Let's push ourselves over there. Oops, oops, oops. Which way am I looking? Let's go chase view and actually figure it out. There we go. Okay, slowing ourselves down. I'm gonna go up and above. Bring ourselves back in line now. Shutting all that good stuff off. Keeping SAS on, but we're gonna reorient ourselves. Right there. Let's rotate and get in line. Right about there, I want to say. That looks pretty well oriented. Go back to translate, push ourselves back just a hair and up. We're gonna come in line there pretty darn quick. Oh, we're passing it. Okay. And forward. Okay, here we go. Now we're cooking with fire. I'm gonna turn on our precision mode. I think I'm off rotation just a hair. So we should be more oriented like that. We're pretty much on point almost. So let's get back under control then. Bring that down. Trim ourselves out a bit. Bring that back, down, over. Reorient. That looks solid. Whoa! Too much, too much, too much, too much. Nearly there, though. Stay on, SAS. Oh geez, oh geez, oh geez. We're losing it. We're losing it. Nah, we're okay. Oh, it's rotating. That's what's going on here. I keep coming off point because it's rotating. I can fix that though. With a quick little time warp. A little cheaty, but that's okay. Right there. Rotation's off. Let's go back that way. Now let's push forward. Pretty much gonna hit this thing straight on. Oh, push over. There it is. Shut off those lights, we don't need them. And we are docked. We have our array set up. And we are pretty well built up in this base. Who do we got in here? That's right. Pat Kerminski. Who was the pilot here? Captain Shortall. Thanks for joining us, guys, today, and congrats to you guys on your successful mission up here to the new Lunar Station. In the next few ones, we're going to be pushing out and doing some more rover missions. Going to be building some landers. Is more likely going to be the case that can come up and dock here on the station and perform some science experiments for us here at the MUN. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and we will see you next time. Cheers!